Sometimes I get these really strange moments sometimes of thinking, gosh, imagine, if I told that 10-year-old kid, you're going to interview that man one day, you just wouldn't believe it. Of course you wouldn't. Well, my first day actually presenting, it was on TVAM and it was the 6 till 7 news hour. I'd never had, somebody talking in your ear, telling you what was going on, and I was so nervous that I didn't listen to anything, I just kept talking really quickly, and I used up all the material from 6 till 7. By 6:30, I'd done it. And I remember the producers thinking, what are we going to do? But to steal stuff from later on in the show. I was just so excited and so nervous that I just was babbling I was. So luckily, that was in the days before social media, so I got away with it. And I got better. I was better the next day, definitely. There's been so many amazing people that I've been lucky enough to talk to. Many of them stand out, sometimes for all the wrong reasons, but I absolutely loved talking to Oprah Winfrey. I was very nervous about it, because obviously she is the queen of everything. And she could not have been nicer. She couldn't have been kinder. She just made me at ease. That's supposed to be my job, making other people at ease. But she was fantastic and such a pro, so easy to talk to. She's done so many amazing things in her life. And that was a real honour to spend time with her. It really was. But I think my favourite interview was probably, definitely, I guess it was Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon, because I'm a space geek and I couldn't believe that I was actually in the same room, in the same studio as somebody who'd actually walked on the moon. And I sat there as a 10-year-old watching it in the black and white telly with my dad. Sometimes I get these really strange moments sometimes of thinking, gosh, imagine, if I told that 10-year-old kid, you're going to interview that man one day, you just wouldn't believe it. Of course you wouldn't. And the same thing about bands, bands that I loved in the 80s and that I, paid money to see and worshipped and had their pictures on my wall. And then I would be interviewing The Cure and interviewing Human League and, Hue and Cry and all these incredible bands. So yeah, it still just gives me such a thrill. It really does. Like most things in life, getting my own show really happened by accident in some ways. I was presenting on GMTV. I went away to have my daughter, this was 30 years ago, and she was born in June and I was supposed to go back to work in September, but I got a call from them basically saying, thanks very much, kindly leave the stage, we don't need you, we've got someone else, which was a shock to the system, you can imagine. But a few weeks later, they phoned me back up again and said, oh, we're doing this mother and baby slot. Would you be interested? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I did that. That would have been probably October, November. Did this slot just twice a week, 9 o'clock, easy peasy, lovely. And then after that, I did well, which was great. And after that, I got my own show. So I started my own show in January. I didn't have to get up really, really early. It was fantastic. I had a huge input in the show, which I obviously still have. So it all worked out. So sometimes, sometimes getting told that they didn't want me back was soul destroying. And I thought that's the end of the world. And then, of course, it turned out all for the best. So sometimes life can be like that. Our show is really, it's like a magazine, we have everything in there. Showbiz, we have politics, we have human interest stories, breaking news, of course, as we're a live show. But I think the thing that I'm most proud of are the campaigns that we do, in particular Change and Check, which was really all came about because one of our producers was going through breast cancer and she just wanted to help. She wanted to spread the word, she wanted to raise awareness, obviously raise money. So we kind of followed her journey and it's just grown and grown and grown over the years. We know that there's 60 women walking around today that wouldn't have been if it hadn't been for our producer Helen and her amazing campaign and us being able to put it on TV. And that's astonishing. Then of course they went on to form a choir. Golden was the track and it went to #1, which was extraordinary. It was all a bit bittersweet though, because Hannah, one of our producers, she very sadly had secondary breast cancer. She'd got through breast cancer before and was so involved in the campaign, and she very sadly died just after giving birth to her wee baby. So it made it even more special for us because it's Hannah's legacy, and the fact that it went to #1, the fact that it was one of the last things that she heard before she died, was just made it all the more special. Like I say, bittersweet, but Hannah's legacy and Helen's as well, you know, and all of the team, is that lives are saved, and that's amazing, actually. It's fantastic. So I'm so proud, very honoured to be part of that, a small part of that, but I'm very proud to be part of it. My job's extraordinary, and you get to do the most amazing things. I mean, for my 60th birthday, they sent me to America to do astronaut training, and I got to do that sort of where you float in space, zero gravity. How brilliant is that? And then I got this year to be a celebrant, which is such an honour. It was a wonderful, wonderful gay couple. It was all to mark the 10th anniversary of weddings, of same-sex weddings. And we actually did this gorgeous ceremony live on the show. And honestly, the joy and the love and the happiness was just great. It's one of my favourite shows that we've ever done. We got a beautiful reaction from viewers. And you know, love is love in all its forms, and we wanted to celebrate that, and it was great. Getting this special award from BAFTA is really grown up, and I'm absolutely, I'm so honoured. And of course, it was a total surprise to me. I had no idea what was going on because they announced it live on the show. Susanna, lovely Susanna Reid, sort of came on my show, and I didn't know what was going on. And then she announced that I got this award. And at first I thought it was a hoax. I thought, this is all about Ant and Dec or behind the scenes or something. But then I thought, no, it's Susanna. So it has to be true. It must be true. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled. It's a real honour. I don't know that I deserve it, but I think it's something that I'll treasure. It's going to be one of those amazing evenings. You know, it's just like when you're feeling a bit down, you just take it down. You know, you wrap it up in a little box and tie a ribbon on it, and it's going to be one of those moments that I'll just treasure forever. And to have, you know, my friends, my family, my team round about me, you know, people that I love, that's going to make it even better.